now that we have Basket Case stuck in our head for the whole day, thank you so much for going through that. What does that remind you of? It's one of my favorite songs as well, because I remember that time actually.
Well, it's from a time when we sort of chatted off camera about our teenage years and things, and for me, that is indicative of a time when I really loved my teenage years. I think I was about 14. I'd started to develop my own taste in music as opposed to listening to what I was brought up on by my grandparents and my parents. I was like, actually, I like that song and I like that, and you'd wait and record them off the radio.
Yeah.
And Basket Case was sort of, it epitomised how you felt as a teenager, that you had this angst without knowing why you had angst, and felt all this sort of confusion in your head, and they sort of put it lyrically.
Yeah.
And it sort of made you feel like as a teenager you're part of a secret group, and that song is like your theme song. And it's just, it brings back all those memories of having a great time with my friends, and you know, just being on the playground at school and then hanging around outside of school afterwards. It's one of those really brings back a lot of memories sort of songs, and everyone from that time knows it because it was so big.
Yeah, it's I remember the time for the same reason as well, and I do remember that way that Greenday anyway had to speak the teenage language, which again kind of weird because they weren't teenager anymore at the time. But yeah, even in the videos and in the asylum thing that they have for Basket Case, there was always like, there's this such rebellion that I don't know why, but I just want to go different. And actually, I think the ultimate way is going, actually, now I'm forming my taste, which doesn't need to be necessarily better or worse. It needs to be mine. So no, that's not unfair. Next one is much, much softer as well. I didn't know there was one either, actually. It's Wilson Phillips with Hold On. What is that connected to?
I mean, it's from the 90s again. It was one that I sort of heard in the 90s and loved, but it never seemed to be really huge on people's playlists. You know, Blink-182 and things like that were massive, and Greenday was massive. This was one of those sort of quieter ones that sat in the background that I think it was used on a couple of films sometime. But it was one that just, when I got together with my husband, I think we heard it one night we watched music channels late, when you get together before kids have really come on the scene, and you can sit up late and have a drink and, you know, go, oh my God, I remember this, remember that. And that came on and we were both like, oh, I love that song. And then it sort of just stuck. So it's like now it's something that if we do get a night away without the kids, at a wedding or something, we'll always ask for that to be played. Because it's sort of, you know, we're hitting a different stage of our life now, but it reminds us both of when we first got together and when we were happy as teenagers and things like that. There's something about that song that makes me think of my husband in some ways more than our wedding song.
Oh, wow.
So it's quite strange that it's if I heard that, I would think more of Rick than if I probably heard our wedding song.
No, I hear what you say. I took a listen before, and it had a softness to it that it was really touchy, and it was also very much of an impact when it actually came after Greenday. So let's give a listen to this, and so we're coming back for the last couple of songs then.
Okay.